Guys, we will start soon. Okay, so Mohit, we can start the analysis with from the first slide. So I will just go into the major observations. Okay, Mohit, you can start.
Yeah, so a very good evening, guys. I hope till now you must have gone through the answer key which has been released by the CLAT consortium, and you must have adjudicated your marks, that the number of the marks which you are securing in the examination. So, in the first 10 to 15 minutes of this particular session, I will be giving you an extempore in which I will be speaking, and after that, Kushal sir will be speaking about the questions which should be challenged, along with the questions which have created decent amount of confusion amongst you. We'll try to create all those we'll try to eradicate all those confusions which has popped up, and after that, we'll try to give you the predictions based on the empirical data which we have gathered from the survey which we have conducted in the past 4 to 5 hours. So is it fine? Akhilesh sir, if you can directly move to the first slide, which is the major observations. Yeah. So this is our observations. The observations which have been done by me, including Kushal sir, along with 2 or 3 other individual members or academicians or mentors, you can better say, who are associated with the team of Flex Templum. Now, the observations are, the first observation is that if we estimate the overall difficulty of the questions, it is moderate to difficult, with very few being in the easy bracket. So you cannot say that a majority of the questions were difficult in nature. Some of the questions were definitely surprising in nature, but at the same point of time, they tested your fundamentals. 5 to 6 questions, or 6 to 7 questions were on expected lines because they were taken from contemporary issues. Now, it was something which was quite expected on our part, that they are going to ask us decent and good questions in this particular year's examination, because there was a change in the pattern. So, if you are finding it difficult, it's absolutely okay, because everyone will find it difficult because there has been a change in the pattern. Now, the second observation is that cutoff is expected to be on the lower sides. The significant reason being is the change in pattern. Of course, you cannot expect that the cutoff will be on the higher side as in the earlier CLAT LLM examinations in the first year, because in those years it was primarily MCQ based, and as a result of which students used to secure massive amount of marks. This year there is a 360-degree change in the pattern, as a result of which the cutoff is expected to go terribly low, in our opinion. And our opinion is basically corroborated by the empirical data which we have collected through the survey also. Right. Now, coming to the third point, the pattern was not absolutely based on sample paper. Yes, I know, because in the sample paper we had not that many number of questions on jurisprudence, as a result of which, after going through the sample paper and the kind of questions which were asked in the sample paper, we primarily and substantially concentrated on reading important judgments and cases. However, to our surprise, they included 2 or 3 very important questions from jurisprudential understanding, which basically gives us a lesson that jurisprudence is an important subject for LLM entrance examination, and it should not be compromised. However, at the same point of time, I need to make one additional observation in relation to this particular thing, that even if you have not read jurisprudence in extreme amount of depth and precision, but अगर आपने वो passage को अच्छे से पढ़ा होगा, तो you must have scored around 5 to 6 questions in that particular passage. Okay, Hofflet matrix is something which is a very important part in the jurisprudence subject. This is something which is expected from every law student to know. So it was not that difficult, but it was very technical, and the questions were quite good. So we should not say that the questions were bad. The questions were good, but it was not on expected lines. So, guys, that is the difference between a competitive examination and a school examination or a university examination. We should be ready for surprises. The next observation is that they have tested the basic fundamentals too. Questions were not only based on the case law, absolutely. Some of the questions were directly based on the concepts which come from case laws, or which come from the statutes or the important legislations. For example, international law, they have asked questions from important cases, no contemporary development question as such. So they have tried to amalgamate every type of question in the question paper. The intention was to formulate a balanced question paper, not a question paper which is only based on contemporary developments and case laws. They also tried including the basic and the fundamentals part. Now, the last part, questions pertaining to important areas like family law, arbitration, etc. were not there. Of course, I remember when the sample paper was released in the month of April by the CLAT consortium, questions were from IBC and arbitration. As a result of this, there was a lot of hulla ballo and hue and cry. Students were quite perplexed and puzzled because in some of the institutions or colleges across our country, these subjects are not compulsory subjects. So this time in the examination, they have not even asked a single question on taxation or on family law or arbitration. So to an extent, it's surprising, no questions from competition law, environmental law as such. So they have gone with the important substantive areas. Okay. So Akhilesh sir, if you can go to the next slide. Yeah, IPR, true, IPR also has been ignored. Yes. If you can go to the next slide, yes. Now, the questions which should be challenged. Now, this particular part will be taken by me, and the next part basically will include those questions which are confusing in nature, but in our opinion, those questions should not be challenged. But guys, it's up to you. It's upon your discretion. If you want to challenge any other question or any other particular question, you can challenge. But these are the questions which, as per our understanding of law, are wrong questions, and the answers should either be altered or the question should be scrapped. The first question is, which of the following is not a tenet of the term life under Article 21 of the Constitution? Now, here, right to reputation forms a core of Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. This particular thing has been established and enunciated by the Honorable Supreme Court in plethora of judgments. So, in my opinion, this particular answer is wrong, and as a result of which, this answer should be amended. Plus, C is there, B is also there, and E is also there. So it is not much contestable. Right. Now coming to the next question. The next question is, right to access internet is protected under Article 19 of the Indian Constitution. Now see, when you read this particular question, and when I'm reading this particular question at this point of time, right to access internet is not a fundamental right. Remember one thing. Right to access internet is not a fundamental right, as a result of which it is not protected as a fundamental right. Now, for all those students who have meticulously gone through the judgment, you must have, it has been unqualifiedly mentioned by the Honorable Supreme Court, that we are not here to discuss on this particular question of law, whether right to access internet is a fundamental right or not. The reason being is that even the petitioners did not claim it to be so. So in my opinion, the answer should be none of the above. But let's see, that is what should be the correct answer in my opinion. Now, please, if you can go to the 44th question. Yeah, as per 44th question, in my opinion, the answer should be none of the above. This is an administrative law question, and failure to exercise discretion is an important ground on which judicial review can be exercised by the courts across this country. It has been established in various Supreme Court cases. Question is not visible. This is question number 44. This is question number 44, guys. Okay. Now, these are the questions which should be challenged, and accordingly, it should be amended by CLAT consortium, which is wrong in our opinion. Now, coming to the questions which has been raised potently by the candidates in our WhatsApp group and in our Telegram group. These particular questions will be taken by Kushal sir.
Thank you, Mohit. Thank you, Mohit. Hello, everyone. I hope you guys have gave your best. We were ourselves baffled after looking into some of the questions. However, I personally admit that we also face those confusions that you guys have faced, but we tried to draw a reasoning from the answers that has been given by the consortium, that why these answers are marked correct. Let's begin. We are open to any of the inputs that you would be providing and reasonings from your end, because we also find these answers to be very confusing. Now, reading question number 73, the very first line is very substantive on its part. After changing her religion, an adult medical student, Bareta, got married to a man of her choice. The medical student's right to marry was. Now, there is a confusion between a claim, a liberty, and a power. Now, if you look at in the passage, what definition that has been provided in the passage is, oh, yes. If you look at the definition, it's in the second paragraph. A claim entitles one person to limit the liberty of another, who then has a duty either to act or not to act in a certain ways towards the claimant. For example, a child's claim to maintenance from the parents places a duty on the parents to provide maintenance. Now, if you look at the example, there is a claim of maintenance. That means maintenance as a right. Now, if you look into the question, question, what it says that the medical student's right to marry was. Now, there is a right that has been accrued on the student. And also, if you look at the first line of the sentence, that says that after changing her religion. Now, this fact is itself not very clear, which very well says that whether she was changed into a religion of that man, or whether she has changed her religion into some other religion. Now, what it says that, but we should look into the word right to marry, because since the right has been accrued, that would be a claim. Whenever there is a right and you claim that right, so it would fall under it would be a claim. Now, moving on to the other question, which says that the Supreme Court itself admit in the case of the Santosh Kumar Baria that death penalty is imposed arbitrarily or freakishly. The court made a candid admission in saying that there is no uniformity of precedents. In Sangeet, the court yet acknowledged that principled sentencing has become a judge-centric. In Swami Shraddhanand, the court said award of death penalty depends on the personal predilection of the judges, and there is a lack of uniformity in capital punishment. Now, if you look at the question, this question is itself in a form of a paragraph. And now it says that which of the following statements is correct. If you, again, this question seems to be a bit on a less-ended side, because had it been the question that which of the following statements is correct with respect to the above mentioned statements, the answer would surely have been answer B. But since the question is very open-ended, which of the statements is correct, this gives rise to the confusion that either answer A or answer B, or both of them would be a correct answer. Now, if you read option A, award of death penalty depends on law and is given in the rarest of the rare cases. Now, let us divide it into two parts. Award of death penalty depends on law. We all know that the death penalty is only given in case of an offense committed under offense of murder. Now, if you read award of death penalty depends on law, this would itself limit itself to the offense of death, offense of murder. Now, what happens? What happens is that there is no definition as to on what circumstances a death sentences has to be awarded. But adding a tail part that it has to be given in the rarest of the rare cases, this particularly answer becomes correct. But since again, even I had a confusion regarding these both options, I would say that answer A and B are correct. But again, if you raise any kind of objection on the questions which can sharply be edged, in case of confusion, their interpretation will only be on a winning side. So if the answer is B, I would not ask you to go for an objection. Akhilesh sir, is there any other questions that needs to be answered?
No, I think it has been done. Thank you, Kushal. So if you for this particular part, the confusing section part, guys, if you want to go ahead, you can definitely go ahead and challenge the question. But in our opinion, it shouldn't be. Then the reason has been substantiated by Kushal. Now coming to the cutoff analysis, and please listen to it very clearly. And once the cutoff analysis is over, we'll take up individual questions. Right now, the sample size of our survey is roughly around 250 to 300 students, and we don't claim 100% accuracy in our cutoff predictions. Now, these two important factors should be kept in mind by all of you. The sample size is only from 250 to 300, and we are not claiming 100% accuracy. But still, we are going with our experience, because I have given a lot of examinations, Kushal has given a lot of examination, and then upon the data which we have collected. Now, Akhilesh sir, if you can go to the next slide. Yes. So in our opinion, and please listen to this very carefully, the tier 1 NLUs, which contains the first 3 NLUs, that is NLS, NALSAR, and NUJS. And probably it can include Bhopal also, or it cannot include Bhopal also, because we cannot say this with 100% precision and accuracy. The cutoff should be 55 and above. So if you are securing 55 and above, in our opinion, you'll get a seat in the tier 1 NLU. Okay. Now coming to the tier 2 NLUs, when you come from GNLU or Jodhpur, or you can speak about RML or Odisha, in my opinion, till Odisha you can say. If you're scoring above 45 and above, or 42 or 45 and above, you'll get a seat in that particular set of NLUs. Now coming to the last tier of NLUs, it can also go down to 30 also, because in the recent times we have seen that 3 or 4 NLUs also have come up. Now in that particular situation, this 35 might get a bit low, but not substantially low. And after that, you must be knowing that we have this concept of vacancies which do arise in the CLAT counseling process. During the vacancies, the cutoffs might go more low in sense, but more or less this would be the cutoff as per our understanding and the data which we have collected. So This is it. Yes.
Okay, so thank you, Mohit, and thank you, Kushal. And one more thing I will add on this, like we will do counseling sessions for the same after the exact marks and all coming. And now house is open for the questions. So please bombard